chain smoke and I say fuck a lot. But I accept myself for the way I am. I accept you too. Viewer discretion advised.
Open this door.
This place is huge. There's so much room. Come check it out.
It was Egghead, all right.
The rottenest egg of them all.
Thursday, July 18th, 2019. Jeffrey Epstein denied bail. Breaking. Epstein has been denied bail in New York and will spend the remainder of his time until trial behind bars with no exceptions. I originally saw this when Tiffany Fitzhenry shared it. It's a really long article, but I just wanted to point out a few things. Secret Agent Schmuck. In the Village Voice, October 16th, 2007. Javal Aviv, who said that his book was actually a barely disguised account of the life and alleged 1991 murder of millionaire media tycoon Robert Maxwell.
The millionaire newspaper publisher Robert Maxwell is dead. He disappeared overboard from his private yacht early this morning while cruising off the Canary Islands.
Trading in shares in Mirror Group newspapers and the Maxwell Communication Corporation has been suspended for the second time in a month. The companies asked the stock exchange to step in while the financial position of the Maxwell family's private businesses is being clarified.
Mirror Group newspapers has just said that significant assets of their pension fund had been lent or transferred to private companies controlled by Robert Maxwell, apparently without due authority.
Robert Maxwell inhabited a realm of lies. Many people knew this, but kept their counsel. Cowardice, or respect for the law of libel, to which Maxwell would resort with apparently infinite funds.
Aviv provided his bona fides. He runs a Madison Avenue corporate espionage firm named Interfor, and has been hired to investigate some aspects of Maxwell's complex finances. But during his investigation, Aviv had discovered explosive truths. Maxwell, Aviv said, had actually been a spy for the Russian, British, and Israeli intelligence agencies, and had paid with his life when his spy masters discovered that he'd double-crossed them. Aviv claimed that the revelations in his book were so stunning that he'd have to novelize the tale to protect himself. If he told the actual truth, he hinted he'd been killed. Aviv, former Israeli spy who had reportedly spent the 1970s hunting Palestinian radicals around Europe and the Middle East, whose life story was so terrible that he can only allude to it. Aviv has promoted the idea that he was the lead Mossad assassin tasked with avenging the 1972 massacre of Israeli Olympic athletes in a secret operation that was portrayed in Spielberg's 2005 film Munich. It was Aviv that the actor Eric Bana was supposedly playing, though his name in the movie was Avner. Although in this article, the CIA discredits Aviv. For instance, "This guy's full of shit," says Larry Johnson, who served the CIA and as a deputy director in the State Department's Office of Counterterrorism. Court documents allege that in 2003, Aviv signed an intelligence contract with the Nixium Corporation, an Albany-based company that offers seminars in achieving personal and business goals, and whose devotees include heirs to some of the richest fortunes in America and Mexico. In the last few years, former members of Nexium have come forward to claim that the company was in fact a predatory personal growth cult that subjects its members to intensive brainwashing and requires them to swear their lives to its leader, an accused pyramid scheme operator named Keith Raniere. Nexium hired Aviv to dig up dirt on someone that Raniere considered an enemy, New Jersey-based cult expert Rick Ross, a controversial figure himself, who was also a frequent guest on TV programs. Ross complains that he was even a target of an elaborate sting operation orchestrated by Aviv on behalf of Nexium, which involved trying to lure him onto a ship in the Caribbean. Keep in mind this article is from 2007. He got convicted 12 years later. So in case it wasn't clear, this guy, Javal Aviv, however you say his name, was hired to look into Robert Maxwell's finances after he died. Robert Maxwell being the father of Ghislaine Maxwell, Jeffrey Epstein's madam, or handler, or whatever you want to call her. He was also hired by Nexium, and I just thought the connection was significant. and weird.
Boy, you guys have egg on your faces.
This is from Julie Brown, Miami investigative reporter. A Palm Beach sheriff's deputy told me for my series that their work release detail involved standing outside his office and signing visitors, including women, in and out. They never checked what he was doing in that office, and the logs mysteriously disappeared. According to the New York Post, Epstein had sex den while serving jail time.
The allegations against Jeffrey Epstein and the Palm Beach County Sheriff's Office coming out of New York.
This time, an attorney representing some of the victims says that he personally knows of several young women who were allowed to visit Jeffrey Epstein while he was on work release. That was back in 2008.
These women claim they were solicited for sexual favors by Epstein while he was supposed to be monitored by PBSO deputies.
A spokeswoman for the department tells me Epstein wasn't allowed visits from family, friends, or guests. She says there are 464 records which back this up. Now, we've been asking for those records along with a visitor log from the sheriff's office, and we're waiting on a response. But that's not the only tie between the sheriff's office and Epstein that we've uncovered today.
Fort Lauderdale attorney Brad Edwards claims he knows more than one young woman visited Jeffrey Epstein at this downtown West Palm Beach office while he was on work release. It was a benefit afforded to the convicted sex offender while he was incarcerated from 2008 to 2009 for procuring a person under the age of 18 for prostitution by the Palm Beach County Sheriff's Office.
They believed that they were going there for something other than a sexual purpose, and while there, surprisingly to them, the situation turned sexual.
The sheriff's office says Epstein was carefully guarded. If he violated any conditions, his work release would have been terminated.
Jeffrey Epstein paid Palm Beach Sheriff's Office $128,000 during incarceration for prostitution charges.
Contact 5 got this record from the Palm Beach County Sheriff's Office, which shows Epstein's foundation, the Florida Science Foundation, paid PBSO nearly $130,000 while he was incarcerated. If the Florida Science Foundation sounds familiar, that's because when Epstein was granted probation, he served out his community service requirements at that own foundation.
In addition, Epstein will serve 12 months of community service at his own nonprofit, the Florida Science Foundation.
And it's the same foundation where Epstein worked while he was on work release.
Instead, PBSO says Epstein comes here to the West Palm Beach office of his Florida Science Foundation, an arrangement enjoyed by how many other convicted sex offenders?
That's been asked, and we are looking into that.
PBSO faced tough questions about it in 2008. This week, we've again asked the sheriff's office for records which show the number of convicted sex offenders who were also granted work release benefits like Epstein.
Well, Dershowitz in England's Prince Andrew were also accused of participating in sex with children at Epstein's house. Now, Dershowitz has denied all that. Prince Andrew has denied all that. But because of the plea that Dershowitz worked out, there's even more scrutiny. There's more suspect about what that plea was all about. Because here in the plea, very unusual, it was specified that any other co-conspirators who might have been involved with these children have total immunity for the rest of forever. I mean, for any involvement that they may have had. Very unusual thing to put in there, but it was put in there for this situation. Now, that becomes important, Tom, because Epstein's private pilot, Larry Vysotsky, came forward and he said that he had flown Bill Clinton around in the jet and Israeli Prime Minister Ehud Barak around on the same jets at the same time with those same underage girls where Epstein was on the jet. If you open this case and you show that there was some fraud involved in how all this took place, you know, that's going to be a serious problem for everybody.
I never saw a young underage woman.
Yet Epstein's former butler swore under oath that Dershowitz was at Epstein's residences at the same time underage girls were there.
Were there young women in another part of the house giving massages when I wasn't around? I have no idea of that.
Dershowitz did say he once received a massage at Epstein's mansion, but from an adult woman.
I kept my underwear on during the massage. I don't like massages.
He was wearing his underwear. You can't have sex that way, not with undies on.
Oh, do you want to take off your pajama bottoms?
Actually, I feel more comfortable if I just pulled my penis through its hole.
Was he wearing a chastity belt or something? Another thing that points to the intelligence aspect of this whole Epstein thing is that's what we heard from Acosta. They found money, diamonds, and an expired passport with a Saudi Arabian address and a different name of Jeffrey Epstein's, although it was issued from Australia. A fake passport would be something that you would expect somebody in an intelligence organization to have. With his prior convictions, I thought it was strange. In his background report, he still had a concealed weapon license that expired in 2010 after his conviction.
All right. That's all. I'm done. My criminal career is now extinct.
Fucking stoned.